problem is this of the persona personae. Persona is the Latin word for the mask worn by an actor. Each society has its wardrobe of personae for you. If we were here in Taos, let's say 250 years ago or something like that, we would be an American Indian community, and there'd be a totally different set of personae, tasks to do. These are the Völkergedanken. These are the folk ideas. This is the system of transformations that we have to live with. And it's through the personae of the society that one comes into relationship to other human beings and also into the world of nature, which means into the world of one's own character. These will differ from one society to another. Now, in a traditional society, and supreme example is traditional India, the individual is meant to identify with the persona. He is to live in terms of what is called the dharma, the duty system that is put upon him. And he is a Brahmin. He is a warrior. He is a merchant. He isn't playing the role. He is it. In our modern Western society, which has much more respect for the individual values and the individuality, the person who identifies himself with his role, we call a stuffed shirt. You have to put the role off and put it on again. It's not part of you. The executive comes home in the evening and is met by the executive's wife. The executive plays ball with the executive's son for a little while. And then later in the night, the wife will have the privilege of going to bed with an executive. And this is the thorough stuffed shirt. Not only are you in our society supposed simply to put the role on and put it off, but also you're supposed to develop your critical faculties. This is the function of ego, of which the Orient and traditional societies know nothing. The whole character of Oriental thinking is elimination of ego, which in Sanskrit is called ahankara, making the noise I. By eliminating ego, annihilating the critical faculty, you identify with the role that the society has put upon you. In other words, what we think of as the creative faculty is completely gone. Now, this is one of the problems when a Western person goes to an Oriental guru to become illuminated. The Oriental person has a relatively fragile ego. But we have been asked ever since childhood, Johnny, would you like chocolate or vanilla ice cream? I want strawberry. So we go out and get strawberry ice cream for the kid. We're even allowed to choose our wives and husbands. This doesn't happen in the East. Life happens to people in the East. They don't choose it. And so this faculty, this judging, this evaluating, this accepting responsibility faculty is not developed. So a Western person with a developed evaluating ego goes to an Oriental guru. And the guru has a little hammer to break egos. That's what's known as method. And the person comes then with this rock of an ego. The guru is used to things about as fragile as those things you hang on Christmas trees. And you come with your ego and you say, Guru, I want to get rid of my ego. So he takes the hammer, nothing happens. I know people who've had hammers hitting them for 40 years and nothing has happened. And they think it's something wrong with them. And this is psychologically bad news. This is important. You know the word sati? In Sanskrit, it's spelled S-A-T-I, long I. That word sati comes from the verb to be. The woman who has thrown herself on her husband's funeral pyre and been burnt up with him has performed her duty as a wife. This is a long, long idea. The two are one. He has died. She has gone down into the death world as Inanna in the Sumerian story goes down to rescue Dumuzi or somebody like that. It's an old story. It's the woman's hero deed, giving up her life to join that with her husband and both achieve immortality through that. We say commit sati. In India, they say the woman becomes sati. She becomes something. She is something. And the woman who doesn't do it is asati, is nothing. One's character is a function of one's identification with one's socially given duty, a totally different system from ours. Now, another thing to remember with the persona-personae system is this includes the morality as well. The morality of the culture is involved in this. So that morality is something you put on and put off. When in Rome, do as the Romans. And a lot of people have trouble with that.